This is Salamancer, and today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to give you an intro real quick, an overview of the play style that you see in 6v6, then of the teams, and then we are going to launch into the match. I will try to put a skip link somewhere in this video. As far as the play style of 6v6, typically you're going to see the same four classes on the field most of the time, except when they're defending the last point or in very specific circumstances. Especially watch Mackie from Quantic to switch classes a lot. Use this guy right up here. But you do see these same four classes quite a lot. Typically, there's going to be a limit of 2 per class, so you can only have 2 soldiers, 2 scouts. There's also a limit in the ESEA League of 1 of each only, of the medic, demo, and heavy, because they can be so overpowered when you have 2 of them. So those classes you can only see 1 of, but the others you can usually see 2, maximum. And so that's why you see 2 soldiers, 2 scouts, 1 demo, 1 medic, because that's what they're limited to. Otherwise, they might actually go with more soldiers, more demos, or maybe even more scouts. The reason they use these classes in particular is that these classes, one, they have a very high skill ceiling, so a lot of players can show off some really impressive skills with rocket jumps, air strafing, and all kinds of air shots. But the other thing is that they are never not good. They're always going to be good at doing something, getting around the field, dealing lots of damage, unlike a pyro who, even if he uses the detonator, really can't get around very easily, or the engineer who is just super slow everywhere. The soldier, the demo man, and the scout can all move really, really fast, and that medic, of course, is just insanely useful, so you're always going to have one of those on the field. And so hopefully that explains a little bit of why 6v6 is played as it is. Of course, if you play any one of these classes, definitely try to get into it. Go into like the newbie 6v6 groups, which are really amazing and have just ballooned in size recently. I'll put links to those. You can check out news on sites like ComFT and vanillatf2.org. And I really recommend trying to get into maybe one of the leagues like UGC if you're interested in some competitive play. And now on to the history of the teams and where they are today. We are looking at the game between Quantic Legacy in the blue, the QXG tag guys, and Classic Mixup in the red with the Mix Carrot tag. Mixup. Yeah, I get it. It took me a while, like the first time I looked at it. Anyway, so the guys we have here, we've got Mackie doing the gunboat soldier thing, which is a typical roaming soldier kind of thing to do. It means his job is going to be to wait around until an opportunity presents itself to go jump on top of the medic or kill a demo or something, just go insane. And otherwise, he's pretty much going to be playing around the health kits. You're going to see that a lot of times he will run away from the medic. He doesn't want to steal heals away from his medic, CB. And he's going to go grab health kits instead and just kind of watch the flanks along with the 2 scouts. The scouts are Sizer and Clockwork, 2 of the top scouts in North America. Just straight up. Those guys will wreck anybody. And then, of course, these soldiers we talked about, Mackie. Tyrone is the pocket soldier, and Tyrone just deals an incredible amount of damage. You will see he doesn't necessarily get like the top number of kills, but he almost like outscores the other team's demo man a lot of times. It's pretty crazy in terms of damage. And of course, he plays what's called a hard pocket style, which means he very much likes to stay close to his medic, keep that medic protected at all times. Very, very useful thing for a medic to have because it means you're almost never going to lose your Ubers. You're always going to be able to retreat from a situation. Tyrone loves to keep that medic alive. And finally, we have Banny the Wonder demo. He's got a little halo above his head, and that's not a coincidence. This guy is literally Jesus. He is the best demo man in North America, probably in the world, bar none. And let me see. There we go. We've got Classic Mix-Up over here as well in the red. And we're going to be looking at similar class setups here. We've got both soldiers wearing a Tyrant's helm, which is a little bit annoying. But Relic, in particular, wearing the black Tyrant's helm there, is the roaming soldier for Mix-Up. And he does a very similar job to Mackie, although Mackie does a lot more weird off-classing, which is kind of unusual for a roaming soldier. We have TLR, probably one of the best, if not the best soldiers in the world. This guy is absolutely incredible. He used to play on the Experiment last season. He has played with Harblue before, Harblue the medic there, and I think they've actually played these roles before with TLR on the pocket and Harblue on the medic. The demo, you can't quite see him back there, but we saw him last game as well, Platinum. And the scouts they have are Moose, who's tagged up as Dabes or Debez or something like that, and Enigma. And both of those scouts, I did say that their opposing scouts are probably the best, but these guys did pretty much just as good of a job holding down the flanks and absolutely wrecking. I mean, you will see all of them go crazy at some point or another. So, I mean, if they get into a 1v1 fight, even though maybe one team, I could say something like Clockwork is probably the best. If they get in a 1v1 fight, it's more or less a coin toss as to who's going to come out ahead. So they try not to do that actually so much. They try to watch the flanks, keep themselves alive, and then go for opportunities when they present themselves. But anyway, this game was in the finals, the grand finals, and I believe this one is actually the decider match of the first best of 3 that they had. They might only have one best of 3, of course, but the way it happens is that Classic Mixup came out of the losers bracket. They beat the Experiments after their last loss to Quantic. So Quantic won all their games. They beat Classic Mixup. They only have to win one best of 3 series. This is the 3rd game, so the other 2 games, I'm not going to say which order they came in or whatever, but of course you need to go watch them. The other 2 games, one was won by Mixup, one was won by Quantic. And those games were played on Snakewater and Viaduct, and so this is the decider of that. If Mixup wins, they go on to another best of 3 clean slate, and one team, well, each team needs to win 2 games in order to secure the grand finals victory. By the way, these guys are playing for a difference of like $2,000. So the winning team comes away with, I think, about $5,000. The losing team comes away with $2,500 or $2,800. So it's a lot of money on the line and a lot of pride, and these guys were all extremely tense. So without further ado, let's get into the game. I'm going to watch the, maybe not the TL, let's watch the Banny cam. There you go. So we're going to watch Banny doing his normal rollout on Granary. There are actually a couple different ways for the demo man to go. He can go right or left. He can go upstairs or he can stay down. And right now, Banny has chosen to go downstairs. It looks like he has been spotted. He's got to be careful about those stickies landing next to him, but he is going to set up a bunch of stickies there. He sees some pressure coming in from the right-hand side, so he decides to lay some stickies to cover his retreat. And it looks like Mixup has lost their medic. Tyrone and CB, though, have gone down, so both teams have actually lost their medic. Banny, whoa, huge pipe on Enigma. Pipe, of course, being that pipe bomb that came out there. And now he's got a scout helping him out. Platinum gets taken out by Clockwork, so that is going to be that. They leave Clockwork behind. You see that ×2 capture rate on the point. Clockwork is back there capping the point. Where is Mackie? He's actually already on the 2nd point. He's getting upstairs. This is very nice positioning here for Mackie to have. So Banny's going to stay there and try to get the capture, while Mackie comes in and surprises that scout who wanted to try and pressure the point a little bit. So very clearly, Quantic is in a position to get that capture very quickly. You like to see that after you win that middle point. Whoa! Moose, though, takes out Mackie. And Mixup very quickly getting back here to try and recapture their 2nd. They do not want to have to defend their last point, because if you're sitting back and defending last, your opponents get to take a whole bunch of different shots and chances at trying to cap it, and it's very difficult to push back out without getting back capped and losing the round. And we do have a crits coming in from CB. Not something you see every day, but a Kritzkrieg coming out there. They take out 4 players with crit stickies. Look at the kill feed. Banny taking out 4 players with those sticky bombs. I think he might have actually gotten 3 with just 1 of them. I'm not entirely sure myself. Platinum taken down by Banny as well. So he's just going incredibly insane right now. And look at that. 5 players left alive for Quantic after that successful Kritzkrieg. Just now, a bunch of the Mixup players respawn, but it is too late. They are just walking out of that door, and already Banny was on the point, and there's a bunch of spam coming at those doorways. So Quantic very easily wins that after a very successful Kritzkrieg. All right, let's see here. Oh, shoot. Let's watch the Tyrone cam now. And actually, CB is still on that crits, interestingly enough. But we're going to watch the Tyrone cam and see how he decides to roll out here. Mackie is going ahead and grabbing health kits. Looks like this is actually not a usual rollout that you see from teams. Neither one of these soldiers is using the equalizer, so kind of an interesting note. A lot of times one soldier will hurt himself and spawn down to about 50 health, then use the equalizer to rush out there. Neither soldier doing that. I'm not sure why. Tyrone going for an air shot, can't quite hit it, and this soldier, it looks like it was Relic, yeah, on top of CB, but he couldn't quite get the kill. I think, no, he actually did. Okay, one final rocket there did kill CB. My bad. And Tyrone finishes off Tyler, which is a pretty big deal there. Sounds like Hardblue running back away with the overdose out, which is allowed by ESEA. New this season, actually. They just allowed the overdose, which gives him 10%, or I'm sorry, a 1%. Oh, 10% would be crazy. 1% speed buff for every 10% of Uber charge that he has. So he was running away with about a 6% speed buff there, which just lets him get away from scouts a little bit faster. And every little bit helps when you are running away from that middle point after your entire team has been wiped out. It is an extremely, extremely useful weapon to have. So now he's going to be bringing Tyler out here, and they may actually try to move this through the garage, which is a very, very risky thing to do. Oh, 31 health left, and he does pop the Uber on Tyler, which is, oh man, Hardblue plays like a risky I'm not going to finish that sentence. He plays a risky style of medic. And, oh, it did not pay off there. Clockwork wrapped around behind their team and pretty much just destroyed him as soon as the Uber was over. Now, Moose takes out Clockwork. Platinum, actually, and Relic knocking out Tyrone. I think it was pretty much all Relic at that point dealing the damage. But, yeah, Quantic has actually lost a bunch of players. And so now we're seeing a similar situation where after, last round, Quantic immediately pushed into that second point once they got the wipeout. Now Mixup getting the wipeout on Quantic. They're pushing into the second point, laying down those stickies to trap up the doors and make sure nobody can get in. And really, the reason that they trapped that upper door first, I was actually sitting there behind them, listening to them as they played this game, which, by the way, sitting behind Platinum and Moose was pretty awesome. But they trapped that upper door because they expect their opponents to come through there most often. If you walk through that door, it's easier to see what you're walking into than trying to walk through one of these where the door only opens once you're really, really close to it. And, of course, that's a problem when you've got a sticky trap on the other side like this that Banny's laid down. Seems like CB is going to pretend he has an Uber charge. He actually does not, but you can make your medic say that. Crit screen coming in now for Mixup. Not working so far. They're not quite able to get those crit stickies landing on CB properly. He may get an Uber. Very, very close right now. 95%. He is staying barely alive. 11 health left, and he gets the Uber. So that is going to keep his team alive for quite a bit longer. They even keep their heavy up. Mackie off-classing through the heavy to try to stop this. There is a soldier on the point, but they take him out, so Relic is gone. He tried to go for a bat cap there while nobody was paying attention. Didn't quite manage to cap quickly enough. Banny looks like he actually had the Pain Train equipped. He was getting a ×2 capture rate by himself, which means he was using that weapon, the Pain Train, that gives you that ×2 capture rate. And that's a useful thing to do when you are pushing out from your last point. If you have the Pain Train out, then you can cap it just that much faster, and you're less vulnerable to a bat cap as a team. Of course, as a demo man, you are more vulnerable to bullets, which kind of sucks. That is the drawback of the Pain Train, otherwise everybody would use it all the time. Gotta have a drawback on there, right? So Banny is going to start laying down some sticks at the doorway, trying to muscle his way through here. They almost have the Uber, and they're probably going to end up popping it on Tyrone first, and then you see how there's still stickies there. They are going to pop Banny through as well, so they're going to flash the Uber to multiple players. And even if you're in a pub server or whatever, I promise you, flashing an Uber to multiple players is almost never a bad idea. Extremely useful thing to do because, yes, your Uber drains a little bit faster, so you don't get the full 8 seconds. But when you're making a big push, you keep a bunch of players invincible at the same time, and even if it only lasts 4 or 5 seconds at the lowest, you get a whole bunch of invincible, very, very aggressive players all at once. So definitely flash those Ubers. Exactly what CB did there, a very, very standard thing, but he's playing an excellent medic right now. Harblue has 100% Uber, and so CB knows this. They know they did not get the pop out of him, and Mackie actually, I think they were calling for Mackie to go try and jump in and kill Harblue. Didn't work out, though. Harblue has grabbed the health kit and is going to be at full health. So now Mixup is trying to wrap around to the side here. I think Quantic has already dropped back to mid. Yes, they have. They've dropped back to mid because they know they have an Uber disadvantage right now. They know that Harblue's going to try and... Oh, Harblue sees that scout there. The soldier did not see him, but they managed to take down Clockwork anyway. There is a back cap going on, though. That's going to be Sizer getting the back cap. Oh, he takes down Relic, too. Enigma takes him out with a nice 185 overheal. Overhealing scouts, by the way. Do it. If you're a medic, just overheal scouts. Do it non-stop, because 125 is scary. 185 is frighteningly nightmarish when you are facing down a scout. And Enigma actually not being pressured through here. He takes part of the Uber there, just trying to chase down, but instead decides that maybe he needs to capture the point. I don't even know what he's doing right now. No, he's actually dropping back because the Uber from Quantic was popped, I think, a lot later there, so he was dropping away. That's a pretty important thing to do. Once your opponent's Uber and you think you're not going to have the advantage coming out of it, you kind of scatter for a little while. Oh, Platinum gets taken down by Clockwork, who is at 31 health and still kicking. Oh, he takes down Enigma while Banny finishes off the medic, Harblue. Wow. That was intense enough, I don't even remember what I was saying. It was something about Ubers, though. Oh, yeah, scattering away from Ubers. Because that way, you don't take a lot of damage from the Ubered opponent. Your medic doesn't have to flash his own Uber to you. And then, once the Ubers are over, somebody calls it, and you can all drop back in and try to, if you've got the opportunity, try and finish it off. It looks like Tyrone's jumping in here, and we are going to keep the cam on Clockwork for a little while longer. Looks as if Tyrone and Mackie are doing the big damage here, and Clockwork dodging TLR like crazy. Tyler finally takes him down with a shotgun, but it's not going to be enough. Relic is the only one up, and CB going for the kill there. Doesn't really matter. Banny walks up and finishes him off. And when it says finished off there in the kill feed, if you didn't know, that means he didn't actually get the kill on him. Relic killed himself there with an explosive and didn't quite manage to knock out Banny. So yes, you can deal explosive damage to yourself, like Banny just did. That is how you move around as one of these classes. And he's doing the same rollout as before. He may choose to go up a ramp, but actually this would be a slower way to get up there. So no, he is just going to walk out of the garage door once again. And he actually managed to pick away at, I think, a scout there, maybe? The scout had an overheal, but he immediately got rid of that overheal. And Moose, with a big kill, running in and killing Banny immediately. Harblu, though, is going to get taken out here. And Mackie still upstairs. Actually eats, I think, a pill there. So he went from 200 to 100 very quickly. Gets finished off there by Enigma. And so it is Mixup's turn to win a mid-fight. Pretty morale boosting for them. They were like, yeah, I don't think they won either mid-fight so far. But there you go. They have won this one, and that's going to be, I think, Moose probably... Oh, no, they did not try to push forward onto the second point yet. I think they thought they were going to be spawns a little bit faster than there were. And so Quantic is actually going to have a chance to defend their second point. The yard out here is another hold spot that you sometimes can get to, but it looks as if Quantic has not done that. They are going to sit really far back in here, holding down this second point for now. And CB's just going to pretend he has an Uber or pretend he has a crits or something. But Tyler here... Wow, in fact, all of the heavy classes, including the roaming soldier, are currently over on this left-hand side. Oh, that's why they have a crit screen coming in, but look at that sticky trap from Banny. And now a scout there, Clockwork, hiding on top of that exit sign as well, is going to come in and finish off Tyler. Wow, that completely turned this round around. Look at that. All 6 of Mixup's members just died. And, actually, who is Grant Vincent? Is that Banny? I honestly don't remember what the guy's name is. I feel really bad about that. Somebody is going to correct me in comments, so do be on the lookout for that. But, yeah, that sticky trap there that stopped the Kritzkrieg, beautiful play by Banny. Of course, once they saw that the medic and the soldiers and everything were over there, they said, okay, yeah, we need to set up some sticky traps over here just in case they try to walk this way. And Banny coming around the left-hand side here. I don't think the Mixup team expected him to be this aggressive, and there you go, he takes down TLR, while Harblu is taken out over here on the side by Mackie. There's one scout in trying to kill CB, can't do it. Banny has 15 health left, but in fact is already pushing forward. He wants to set up sticky traps on these doorways, because there are only 2 doorways leading out of that spawn. If he can set up stickies, then as soon as the spawners come out here, it doesn't even matter, but if they had been a little bit slower on capping that point, then as soon as the spawners walked out, they would have died anyway. So that was a half. Wow. And an incredible half it was. We do now have Quantic, of course, situated in the red and Mixup in the blue. And right now the score is 3-0 for Quantic. Quantic has pushed all the way and capped their opponent's last point 3 times in a row. They play to 5, so whoever gets 5 points first wins. Or if 30 minutes pass in the half and nobody's gotten that number of points, then congratulations, neither team wins. No, just kidding, it's whoever has the most points at the end of 30 minutes. But Mackie immediately jumping in here, and look at that rocket jumping skill, going straight for Arblu. Can't quite connect these rockets, though, and the problem is he's got the gunboats, so he can't actually pull out a shotgun. He doesn't have it. So if he misses his rockets like that, that is going to be a problem. Looks as if Mackie is still trying to go crazy here. 44 health left, pulls out that equalizer, but he cannot get away from Moose. Clockwork is now in on Harblu, but Harblu has 75 health left. Now you can get about 100 damage, 100 health worth of damage out there if you get up right next to the guy and hit him with every single pellet that Scattergun has. Scattergun. You heard it right here. But he was not close enough, and that's kind of a tough shot to hit. These guys do hit a lot of those what are called meat shots when you hit all 10 pellets. But when you've got like 5 people shooting at you, going for a medic isn't always the best idea. Clockwork just decided he wanted to stay alive there. So can Mixup come back from a 3-0 deficit to win this, or are they going to lose the championship right here? Remember that if they win this, they still end up having to win 2 more games afterwards just to take the championship, because it is double elimination, and Mixup was in the loser's bracket, Quantic was in the winner's bracket. So that is kind of how it works. If my explanation there did not make any sense, then just trust me, I guess. Or you can go look at the tournament brackets on the ESEA website. But Classic Mixup trying to push in here. They are slow playing it at the moment. They know their opponents have an Uber, and they saw the sticky trap there right above the point. You can see there's sticky bombs kind of hidden there. Not a lot of people actually check there, but at this high level, they kind of know where the sticky traps tend to be. The Uber fading away just a little bit later for Tyrone, but he's a little overextended here, actually. Oh, you know what? I think I remember what this was. I remember what this was. And there you go, Hardblue gets taken out, but there's only one player left alive now for Quantic, and I'm going to explain what just happened there. In fact, I might even just turn it around, and we'll go back over that in slow motion. No, you know what? It happens again, so we'll go over it when it happens again. But look at that very quickly. Mixup takes a round after they wipe out their opponents. Hey, no reason not to get on that last point very, very quickly, and that is what they do. So what happened there, I remember I was sitting behind Hardblue at that time, and Tyler, and good time for a pause, I guess. Oh, there they go. Okay. I was sitting behind Hardblue and Tyler at the time, and what Hardblue said over comms, so everybody could hear him, well, everybody on his team, you know. Typically they use Mumble, by the way, if you were wondering. But what he said over comms was, hey, okay, we're going to push in, and it's just going to be me and Tyler. We're going to make them pop Uber, and then when they come back out at us, that's when we're going to kill them in the yard, because he knew that they were going to come back out. And so he called a really amazing, brilliant tactical play there, because he expected his people to be able to do that. Banny and CB down right now. Platinum not really dealing a heck of a lot of damage. It's actually Enigma, Relic, and Tyler doing all that. And there is a pause. So the fight is still going on there, but there you go. Platinum does take down Mackie. I missed all the kills, darn it. But you know what? Screw it. Anyway, it was a brilliant tactical play there by Hardblue. Just some great improvisation to say, okay, well, if we push in and we look like we're kind of fumbling, then they're going to push back out into us and be aggressive. And, I mean, he anticipated it really well, and everybody was just really well positioned to take care of that. And by the way, this is what happens. You get a hovering scout after pauses. They kind of like, the models, in some sense, freeze. And it's pretty hilarious. I know I can actually fix it by like starting a recording and then stopping it, but why would I ever want to fix it? It's utterly awesome. So there you go, a big Uber advantage here for Hardblue. They pushed it in very quickly, so only 50% about for CB, and they have even brought in an offensive heavy, something you don't see every day. Actually, that attack didn't work at all, so they were maybe just a little bit over aggressive here. Hardblue having to run away, and he's only got 41 health left. So that didn't work at all. Quantic taking full advantage of their opponent's overextension, I guess you could call it. But Tyler takes on Mackie. I guess maybe they got a forward spawn over here. I gotta see what's going on. Platinum's gonna start laying down some sticky traps. Oh, and he gets Clockwork! That was gonna be really scary if he couldn't, because Clockwork could have come in there and just one shot. Platinum was within that one-shot range if he got that meat shot off, and Clockwork smelled blood in the water, but apparently the blood was actually his own. Platinum with a really nice pipe there to save his skin and save his team the point, because remember, if you lose your demo man, you lose your capacity for sticky traps. Here comes Uber from CB now on Tyrone. He's trying to force his opponents to die. One thing you'll notice there is that Platinum laid down stickies, and you're like, okay, well, he can't actually kill anyone with those because they're invincible, but you can still cause them to get knocked back. And Plat, doing some crazy damage output right now, takes down Sizer. Enigma, meanwhile, is looking like he probably wants to finish off Clockwork. Where is he? So he already finished off Clockwork. Finishing off Mackie, the roaming soldier there, and Mackie was going for that health kit like a roaming soldier always does. This weapon, by the way, the Boston Basher, is also allowed by ESEA, and the reason they use it is pretty much just to build Uber, because scouts very rarely get to a situation where trying to run at somebody with a bat is going to be a better choice than just reloading their gun. So the only thing they really use it for is building, hurting themselves, which makes the Uber build just a little bit faster. If you are fully overhealed, then your Uber build's really slow. But if you are not fully overhealed, then your Uber builds at the normal maximum rate. So they do like to hurt themselves just to build that Uber a little faster. And, oh man! Plat with another kill there on Mackie. So Mackie jumping in, trying to force the Uber a little bit early from Hardblue. He does not want that Uber to come in and hit his entire team when his team does not have an Uber of their own. But as it turns out, that was actually a really good delay play there from Mackie. Even though he died, he managed to delay the push from Mixup for just long enough that CB could get an Uber, pop it, and now we've kind of seen a reset of the situation where instead of Mixup pushing in with an Uber advantage, we just kind of have both teams with even Ubers. Enigma ran out there maybe looking for a kill, or maybe he was already overextended. But regardless, now we have Clockwork thinking maybe he wants to sneak in here. Oh no, sees the stickies coming up there and decides, you know what? Not worth it. 125 health. Each sticky has the capability of dealing about 100 damage, even a little bit more sometimes. So you very quickly will lose all of your health as a scout, and then you're dead. Enigma going spy right now. And meanwhile, we have Sizer on the sniper, Mackie on the engineer. So a lot of off-classing happens on these last points. And Enigma using the regular invisibility watch is not something you see every day. Usually they will use like the cloak and dagger. but he manages to just barely sneak around that scout and not get caught, and now he's going to be indoors here where nobody will hear or see him decloak. He spots the engineer and doesn't want to go for that. Oh, he's been spotted, though. It's not going to work at all. Oh, and that is the problem with trying to play Spy. You've got 125 health, and once they know you're there, everybody on one of these 6v6 teams will just ruin your day. Lots of spam coming in now from Banny, the red demo man. He is launching pills. You can actually, let me see if he's going to do it again. If you're standing right about here, or on top of this rock even, if you just launch grenades through here, they will roll straight down onto the point. It is quite a nice little spot. So CB's doing a very forward hold here. I think they've spotted Relic on the sniper. So Relic going to snipe as well. Enigma still in that offensive heavy, which is a cute choice. It has not worked for them yet, but if you can get that heavy standing on the point, then all of a sudden you've got like 300 or 450 even overhealed health standing on that class with a gigantic gun. And if anybody gets close to him to try and stop him from capping the point, they are in for a nasty surprise. So it can be a useful thing. It's just that Granary, you need mobility, especially on this last point. There is a lot of ground to cover. So Relic gonna peek in the top. What's he see? Nothing. Nothing. And of course they know there's a sniper, so everybody on Quantic is pretty much just going to be trying to avoid getting sniped, and that's why he doesn't see anything, because they're all pretty much hiding from him, or they're kind of hopping up directly at the doors and getting in his face, where it's very difficult for him to properly aim at their heads. Both successful strategies, and Relic kind of whiffs that shot, hitting the boards there, but he was going for the shot right over there. Spots Tyrone, can't even hit that one, so Relic may end up getting sniped here, and remember, valuable seconds are being wasted off the clock right now. Mixup is, I think only, yeah, it is 1-3 overall right now. Of course, Quantic has gotten 0 points in the second half, and Mixup needs at least 2 more points to tie this up. So you start getting their capture on. Sizer did get taken down by Tyler, and now Relic, knowing that the Ubers are popped for both teams, is going to start sneaking in here and feeling a little bit more aggressive. Spots Banny, gets the headshot. That's huge. Taking down the demo man means that Mixup can now rush right back in. They don't have to worry about sticky bombs anymore. The soldiers are going to be standing upstairs on the pipes for as long as they can, but they are getting taken down fast and furious. Hardblue coming over here and helping Platinum, keeping him alive so he can lay down stickies on the point. And remember, if you lay down stickies on the point, hey, if somebody walks on and tries to stop you from capping, they're going to die. So that's not good. Okay, somebody is trying Hardblue's patience, which I think is a common occurrence. But, no, Hardblue's pretty chill guy, I'm just kidding. But Platinum is going to be taking another left-hand rollout, and he's a little bit slow here. Maybe. Yeah, he seems like he's about the same time as Banny, but no, Banny got there a bit faster, and Plat is taking a lot of damage, 16 health left. Sizer knew how much damage he had taken, ran straight in. How did he know, you ask? Well, when Banny started hitting him with all those sticky bombs, he would have said, okay, I hit him for 100 damage, I hit him for 50 damage, or whatever it was. And that means that everybody's going to be keeping a mental note like, oh, well, if they've hit the demo for that much, then we just need to collapse on him because we know that he can't have a lot of health left. Now, you do occasionally hear people make the wrong call, and I've heard that before, but Tyrone coming in here and killing Tyler! TLR is also known as Tyler because his real name is Tyler, so that, you know, that's why I keep calling him that. And Clockwork taking the Uber, something you don't see every day, an Uber scout, but actually really useful if you think that you can get him to chase down the enemy medic or sneak around past something. I mean, it's just it's a neat thing to do. So Ubering scouts, not a bad idea. I highly recommend it in certain situations. But of course, if you can Uber like a heavy or a soldier, sometimes that is a better choice. I'm not sure what Mackie is lolling about exactly, but I think he died somewhere in there and probably didn't get the kill he wanted to. Meanwhile, we have Platinum really kind of stuck out of position there, and oh, he got caught over here on the ground by Rollers from Banny. And if you're looking for a great band name, by the way, Rollers from Banny, you can have that one on me. I would love to see a band called that. There is a scout on the point, and look at the pressure from Quantic. They are now within 1 round of winning the $5,000 grand prize for first place in ESEA Season 10. Oh, and Mackie actually doing a little bit of trash talk here because he had noticed that that after that last game of the previous evening that Hardblue actually his hand was shaking. He was really tensed up after that game that was just so incredibly close. And I did cast that one, Badlands. So Mackie doing a little trash talk there. trying to unnerve his opponents because they know this could be it. This could be the last one, but there you go. Banny gets taken down. Enigma and Relic going pretty huge right now. Enigma with 3 health left, and he gets back to the medic just in time to get saved. Clockwork still has a lot of health, and he can be very dangerous, but they do take him out. So Enigma actually got like 3 kills there on mid, and it looks like he is not finished yet. He's got 71 health. Got to be careful that Tyrone there, the pocket soldier who is still alive, doesn't get the kill on him. So now he's just going to stand here. He knows that Tyrone and CB are not going to push back in here. It would be a very grave tactical mistake for those two to push in by themselves. Even though they had Uber, it would only be 1 soldier against, like, yeah, as soon as the Uber ended, it would be 1 soldier against a soldier, a scout, and possibly a bunch of other reinforcing mix-up players as well. So would have been a bad call. And so they made the they made the right call, which is not necessarily the same as the white call. Of dropping back, and I mean Enigma just, you know, when you get to this level you just kind of know, okay, there's only 2 of them left, they're not going to push back in because that would be stupid, so he just kind of stood still there on the point, helped capture it. Now the Ubers are done, and this, remember, Hardblue's doing the same thing again, so he pushed in with just him and Tyler, and then they dropped right back out, and they knew that the scouts were going to come in onto the side. They knew that Mackie was going to walk out here, and look what happened. Sizer got taken out, Mackie caught out of position, and even Clockwork just barely manages to get away, but it's now 6 against 4, a big player advantage here. Clockwork going for a kill there, but he can't quite get it. He does get 1 on Moose, but he is taken out by Tyler. So now we have Tyrone, CB, and Banny, the only ones left, and they're dropping back already to their last point. Need to get away there, and oh, look at this, a double soldier attack there. Both of them bombing in. Relic dies, so does TLR, but look at that, Tyrone and CB down, and with CB down, he's not building an Uber. Hardblue has 80% now, and is going to start healing up this scout just to get his Uber that much faster. And, of course, to keep the scout alive. You know, I mean, that can be important, too, I guess. But from the medic's perspective, the Uber's what's important. I'm just kidding. Yeah, keep your team alive, guys. But no, Mixup is going to push in with 100% now. Even though they are lacking their player Enigma, he may come back up and reinforce pretty soon. So they are going to push in with an Uber right away while they still have the advantage. And man, are they all over that medic. They wanted to make sure CB did not have any room to build an Uber. Now Hardblue is actually going to die as well, but Moose and Enigma both going for that point. Actually, Enigma, oh, it's like him against 4 people. And he actually takes down Clockwork. Might get the kill on this other scout here, too. Oh, can't even see what's happening. Sorry about that. No, okay, Sizer finishes off Enigma, and oh, man, they were getting pretty intense there. Platinum is going to start laying down some sticks on the point, just in case somebody goes and tries to capture it. And yeah, Quantic realizing that, uh-oh, wait a minute, we're going to have some problems here because we're going to have to sit back on our last point again. Ubers are just about even. Wait a minute, is Hardblue using a Kritzkrieg? I want to find out. Sorry about that, guys. No, okay, he's using a regular medigun. And Mackie actually on the spy, which is going to be pretty cute. So he cloaks up now using that regular invis watch once again, which seems to be the watch of choice for today. Not sure why, but he gets spotted, bumps into a scout by accident, and he's now going to have to back away. He does get away from that. And one thing that's going to do is going to make Mixup pretty paranoid. They want to make sure they do not lose to that scout. But Mackie's actually swapped out to sniper. I'm sorry, did I say scout? I meant spy. My bad. He's actually swapped out to sniper now. So you see that basically everybody on Mixup here, I remember this happening at the time, they are pretty much just kind of launching explosives and shots randomly because they think that the sniper... Oh, whoa, okay. Okay, slow down, Sal. They think that the spy is still up. Mackie has actually swapped off of spy now, and I don't think Mixup realizes that he is sniping, so there could be a lot of room for him to get some pretty big kills. By the way, look at that XTV poster. You like that? I like that. It's actually part of our XTV pack. You can get some posters and stuff. You can get our HUD, which lets you spectate pretty awesomely. Looks like Relic got finished off somehow, maybe bombing in. Yeah, that's right, he was bombing in, trying to force CB to pop Uber. But you notice, CB went down to 50 health there, did not pop his Uber. Why didn't he pop it there, even though he was at 50 health and could have died? Because he knew, if my Uber is forced, then we have a problem. And look at that shot from Mackie. Takes down Platinum, so that is going to slow down the aggression from Mixup. Might even give some room here for Sizer and the rest of Quantic to push in. The Ubers are both popped now. And what's going to happen here? Mixup holding on to the points so far. But Mackie's going to start... I'm sorry, that's Tyrone. Going to start chasing them off the point. Enigma going to go for a back cap, but oh, it's too late. He can't get it. He did take down Mackie, meanwhile, though. And look at this. Mixup getting just a bunch of kills. Banny down as well. Now there's only 0 players left for Quantic. They are all dead. So there you go. Enigma and Platinum cap it. It's now 3-4. So Mixup, if they win 2 more rounds, they will bring it to another best of 3, and they will have the chance to win. If Quantic wins just 1 more round, then they win everything. Please don't ask me about double elimination tournaments. Even I'm not sure I have them 100%, so it's as close as I'm going to get to explaining it correctly. Platinum taking a familiar role out there on the left-hand side, and he's getting pressured once again by the scout, who just seems to have his number. He always seems to know when that's happening. But Clockwork taken down by Moose. And let me see here, where is Moose? He actually runs in there and kills Banny as well. Tyler and Platinum, meanwhile, going big on Sizer and Tyrone, and so that means Quantic losing a lot of players. And Moose finishes off Mackie before he hits the ground. Oh man, so Mixup is on a rampage right now. They've got Uber already. CB only at 60%. He did manage to get away from the mid-fight, and he is just now going to be building that up, but it's already too late. As Hardblue has 100%, they are going to have to take down the medic, and that's what Platinum does right there. Stops CB from getting that Uber. Tyler pressuring Banny back into this corner here, and Hardblue is actually going for an Uber saw kill. Didn't quite manage to get it. But there you go, they stopped CB from getting the Uber, and that meant that they could win the round because they could just kill more of their opponents than their opponents could kill of them. And the reason you see CB bid Farewell Cruel World here, he keeps killing himself because he doesn't like his spawn position in the room, and so he's trying to get a better spawn just by killing himself, and at the beginning of a round you can actually still respawn instantly. Anyway, 4-4. 4-4 now, so whoever gets to 5 first wins, and it's down to the wire right now. Mixup, I mean, they've won 4 rounds in the second half, which is pretty insane, especially on a map like Granary. And wow, look at that jump by Relic. He's going huge right now, takes down CB. Now it's Mackie against Tyler and Enigma. Mackie has 200 health right now. Tyler actually jumping into the garage. Mackie doesn't know who to go after. He spots Tyler down there, and Tyler has 5 health left, but Mackie can't chase him down because he doesn't want to expose himself to that scout too much. Oh, nice kill on Tyler. So he pretty much expected that to come out of there. But now he's going to try and have to stop the capture, and that's where Enigma's going to get him, is on the ground. Because he doesn't, you know, of course, Enigma cannot really effectively jump up there without taking a really long route, and it's going to be very obvious to Mackie where that route is going to lead him. So Enigma basically had to stay on the ground there and just try to chip away at him with the pistol and the scattergun until Mackie made a mistake or jumped off or whatever, and that is what happened there. So now we do have both medics, not quite the same Uber, but only a 20% difference. That's not always enough to push on. Platinum's setting up some sticky traps right now, and they're just going to sit back and try to watch these, see if their opponents try to push through the garage, because if they can set off some cute little sticky traps here, they might be able to catch somebody unawares, and maybe catch them before the Uber is popped. We'll find out. Banny doing just some normal spam through the garage to see if he can't catch anyone there, and is this Mackie or Tyrone? That is Tyrone, jumping a little forward, so he does want to maybe see about pushing through the garage and retaking that middle point there. But he's going to need the support of his entire team to do it, and pushing through these narrow choke points on Granary is very, very difficult when your opponents are prepared. Which, in Invite, you know, which is what we're watching now, they are almost always prepared. So pretty much you're going to see normal hold positions here, and whoa, Relic goes after CB, and he takes him down. Look at the fizzles. That is a dropped Uber there. Oh man, Relic made him drop the Uber, and now we're probably going to see Mixup push very, very quickly. Tyler's going to try and bring Hardblue through the garage, but first they're going to send the scout and demo forward because they want to make sure that these sticky traps get popped early and they do not take out their medic before he pops the Uber. So now Tyler actually not taking a lot of that Uber there, but Hardblue still has just a tiny bit of an advantage. And Relic is trying to catch up to the rest of the team. That's what we saw real quick as I was trying to cycle through to Banny, setting down some sticky traps on all over the place pretty much on this second point. He wants to hide them in not so obvious locations so that people run into them unawares and he can catch them and destroy them. You know how it is, it's a sticky trap. I don't need to explain that. Maybe I do. But it's pretty much effectively like having a landmine and a remote detonated charge. That is what it is. And Quantic is content to hold their second point for the moment, especially because they know their opponents have a slight Uber advantage. So we're going to see if Hardblue maybe pops an Uber in here. Not quite yet, he hasn't. So looks like they are going to slow push it again from Mixup. And one thing you'll notice from these teams, they are masters of versatility. So Mixup playing a really slow, cautious game right now, but you'll notice that once they, get their opponents wiped out or they have a player advantage or something, then they'll just go crazy and push in. So meanwhile, we do have Mixup once again jumping out here, and they are trying to bait their opponents out into them. Tyler gets taken down, but he has hit Clockwork, and they've got, I think they realize they have enough of a health advantage they can actually push in here. Banny's getting healed up quite effectively, though, and Tyrone taken down. Relic and Platinum. Sizer and Mackie helping kill Moose. That is Moose that they killed. Hardblue going for an Uber Saw on CV, but cannot get it. And there you go. That's pretty much a wipeout. Tyler did just spawn, but that is a wipeout for the Mixup team, and that's not a good sign. They are probably going to lose the middle point. There you go. There is somebody on it right now. Tyler is thinking about trying to stop it. But you don't want to lose that middle point, because if you do, it's very difficult to get it back going through those choke points. It's a tough thing to do. Tyler actually, killed Banny there with like one spam rocket. Not a usual thing you see, but Banny just maybe wasn't paying enough attention. Who knows? He was at low health, though, and that's what happens. So this is why you'll see Mixup is now going to be super aggressive. Whoa, barely dodged that rocket out of here there. But Mixup's going to be super aggressive because now they know there aren't any stickies left to trap them, so they can just run straight in. And of course, Banny is such a good player that when you lose him, you're losing a severe amount of health. Moose and Relic getting some big kills there. And let's see, Relic dies himself. Mackie going crazy here. Clockwork and Mackie may single-handedly save this round for them. Can Mixup hold up now? Because Hardblue is the only man left alive. Can the Scout or maybe Banny chase him down? Who knows? Oh, wow. Quantic gets that capture. And actually, how fast they got that is really important. Because look at where Banny and... look at where the rest of Mixup is going to spawn. They're all spawning at the same time. And they are spawning behind the middle point. They could have actually gotten that forward spawn there if Quantic had not capped second as quickly as they had. But no, now Mixup, a bit of an Uber advantage. They are going to push back onto mid. And hopefully for them, and hopefully for us, because there are lots more games to cast if they do, prevent their opponents from capping the middle point. They do not want to lose it. Like I said, losing mid is a pretty big blow here on Granary. On other maps, maybe Gully Wash, Badlands, sometimes it's not as big of a deal, but here it is a huge deal. And wow, look at the Uber power coming in there from Blue, using that invincibility to the best of their ability. And that kind of rhymes, I guess. But it was not enough. They couldn't get any kills, and now CB has an Uber of his own. He's going to push out here to the right-hand side immediately, and the Scouts actually kind of need some health here. So Tyrone going for some kills. Meanwhile, Mackie is taken down over on the side by Relic, and Relic might just go huge here. No, he's been taken down. Okay, so Sizer actually going decently large. He's getting healed up now by CB. He will probably have to start watching those flanks again pretty soon. That is what you normally see out of your Scouts. The Quantic Scouts in particular are pretty insane. And there you go, Sizer actually using that Boston Basher now to build the Uber as quickly as possible for CB. They are catching up actually to Hardblue. So there's only going to be about a 10% difference, and Mixup probably doesn't want to push in on that. I don't know, Enigma spots that there are no stickies over here at the moment, so Banny just kind of spamming pills in that direction. You've got to be careful about pushing through here because, once again, this is a very narrow choke. There's lots and lots of explosive damage that is going to splash onto any players who run through here. But there they go. They push the Uber right now, and they've taken down Mackie immediately. The Uber is popped for Quantic, but they've already lost a player to their opponent's Uber. And so that puts them at a disadvantage right away. They can't deal the damage that Mackie would have been able to deal. But Tyler and Platinum down. CB in exchange. Hardblue is still alive, so they've still got a heal advantage. They could still have an Uber advantage if they can keep Hardblue alive for long enough. Banny, in fact, 7 health left, and he gets finished off by the pistol from Enigma. So they are going to have an Uber advantage, and they may be able to push last here right after this. Relic and Enigma getting the capture. And by the way, Enigma, the programmer of TeamFortress.tv, the TF2 streaming site, he's going straight for last year. Nobody's there to stop him right now. That might be it. That is it. Classic Mixup brings it to a final set, a final best of 3. I'm not going to cast any of those. They were already cast, actually, over on the XTV and ESEA streams, so you need to go check them out. Some of them may be uploaded to the XTV YouTube channel. It's COMMFT. COMMFT. Yeah, go look it up and go subscribe there too. But yes, do please subscribe here to youtube.com/fatmop if you like seeing competitive TF2. If this was maybe just a little bit exciting for you, I hope it was. I do hope it was. But yeah, do hit subscribe here and tell your friends to check out competitive TF2 as well. There's all kinds of great resources out there, and it's only getting better, I promise you. Stay tuned.